Right, guys, here we are, MMA UK News. Obviously, myself, Stoomboy, for the MMA UK BJJ show. So, talking about grappling, so Grapple Kings 7 is going to be on Saturday, 2nd of April. It's going to be in, and again, I laugh every time I say this because I'll be saying it wrong for so many episodes, but Port Lease, which is just kind of west or southwest of Dublin. It's going to be, as I say, Saturday, 2nd of April. It's going to be, tickets are available through Grapple Kings Facebook page. There is a link on there so you can get any tickets. If there is any tickets available left, definitely get it through them. Failing that, if you can't make the event on the night or you can't get tickets, you can watch it on Flow Grappling. So if you do have a Flow Grappling subscription, then fantastic. If not, you will need to purchase, obviously, the subscription through Flow Grappling. Now, it's going to be a fantastic night of events, a fantastic night of matchups. So we're going to have Team Northern Ireland v Team Southern Ireland. So obviously, guys from all levels, across all gyms across both countries. Now, headlined is Owen Livesey. Owen Livesey coming across. I mean, he needs no introduction. He's throwing people about all over the place at the moment. So he's going to be up against Santiri Elias. So that's the main event for the card. Now, my next guest is going to be on the show that night. So Garath Vaughan of SBG Strabane is going to be up against Kieran O'Donnell. So obviously, we got a chat with Kieran O'Donnell recently as well. So they two are going to go head to head on the 2nd of April. So Gareth, listen, absolute pleasure to have you on, buddy. How you doing?
I'm fine. Thanks for having me on. It's a pleasure, as always.
Definitely. We kind of had a laugh on Facebook Messenger earlier yesterday as well. We talked about, I've been saying that all of these guys, anybody over a certain age, wear Mustangs. So, and it seems to be this card. I mean, this card, the fantastic thing about it is we've got a lot of young talent on it, but there's a lot of older talent on it as well, Gareth.
Yeah, there definitely is. Like I say, it's good too because like you say, some of the people on the card are maybe coming later to jiu-jitsu, and like these super fights and big cards weren't available a few years ago. Like you had to go tournament style where you might have had 3, 4, 5, 6, maybe 7, 8 matches in a day, depending. And as good as that sounds at the time, sometimes when you get to a certain stage of life, if you have one good hard battle, that's all you want. You don't want to be going, Jesus, I can't do that again, can I?
Yeah.
So it's sort of, and also it makes the show a bit better that way too, because you can go out and empty the tank and one good show and put on a performance for the audience and the crowd watching.
Definitely. And some of the guys, obviously, some of the people I've been speaking to, I mean, even though we're older guys, Gareth, I mean, there's no holding back in some of these guys. I mean, some of the talent is going to be on the show that night. They're going to go for it.
100%. 100%. I don't get me wrong, I love competitions and I love like ABGDF competitions, things like that. But to me, I prefer sort of a finish for jiu-jitsu. Like I like to hunt the finish and try and fight the finish, not get a mount and get your points and then get a side control and get your points and take the back and just hang out there and get your points.
Yeah.
I'd rather sort of, if I get on a leg or an arm or a neck or something, go for it and don't worry about did I get my points to that? Did I get my points to this? Like, whereas with these tournaments, like the Grapple Kings is fantastic that way. You're always sort of hunt for the finish, and then if the referees and the decisions are being made, they're going, well, he was attacking all the time. He mightn't have got points as in points scored with your knee on belly or your side control or whatever, but you were the person attacking, so it looks much better that way.
Yeah. That's what we noticed at obviously Grapple Fest recently. I mean, there was a fight, and what happened was there was one person was quite dominant in regards to control. They were able to control the fight, but the other person was attacking more. There was more submissions and so on. So the person that was going for the submissions was the person that won, rather than the person that was in control of the fight, had top control and side control and mounts and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So
and it's sometimes hard that they score because like, do you give it to the person who, let's be honest, is dominating the fight, but the person on bottom might never ever have been in danger throughout the fight, or throughout the match, like, whereas maybe the person from the bottom and sitting has the other person full guard throwing up triangles and arm bars, attacks, and then the other person's just sort of shutting everything down, just staying safe, and you're going, well, yeah, they won, but is it entertaining? Is it good to watch? And that's why I think sort of the no points scored system is almost maybe better like that way. You can
Yeah.
throw up attack, and you're not worried, oh, if I get swept here at the very end, I'm going to lose this match. Throw up the submission and go for it. And if you get it, you get it. Great. And you don't, well, it's not the end of the world. Like.
Yeah, yeah. And we're seeing more and more, obviously, events coming up, submission-only events, and they seem to be the big thing at the moment. Obviously, the competitions, obviously, IBJJF and all your other comps are still quite popular, but more and more submission-only events are coming up all the time.
Yeah, definitely. Like I say, like, you've Andy Chapman on Andy's run a couple of them, like, and I've done any Andy's run, like, and like I say, they're really good, like, and like I say, it's nice. It's nice to get out and showcase what you've been working on and sort of, go after things, like, and
Yeah.
it's good too to get your name out, like, and that's half the battle, like, and even like you said, some of us are a bit older, and I still love competing, like, I just love the thrill of the competition, and I love getting on that, and I try and pass it on down to all my students too, and try and get them on things and get them into competitions. And listen, you can be a big fish in a wee pond. You can be a killer on your own mat because you know this guy's game or that guy's game or this or this or this. But once you go into competition, you don't know what you're coming up against. Like, and again, vice versa for them. Like, they don't know what they're coming up against. Like, they might have an idea, but a couple of months hard training can sort of change your whole game plan too.
Definitely. And then talking about training, I mean, how's everything going with you then? Now that we are officially up and running, how's your training going? How's the gym?
Training's going good. Gym's busy, thank God. We have a lot going on at the minute. We have the MMA team's doing well. I have a fellow out in Bahrain fighting at the minute in the Super Cup, an Irish team. I have a girl, she's fighting, she might have been picked for the Irish team for the Europeans now, coming up in May, I think it is, in Rome.
Nice.
Competition-wise, I've got another two fellas from my gym on Grapple Kings undercard. So I have a couple of really good matches coming up for the boys, and then a lot of the young boys come up, they're hungry, and they're looking now for matches. And, I think sometimes the younger fellas, they don't want to compete because they're thinking, oh, I don't want to compete because what if I get beat? Oh, guys, that's just, you're going to get beat. The game, you sort of, you don't know until you try. And there's a couple of boys that says to me before, I wouldn't really want to compete unless I knew I was going to do well. That's you don't know who you're going to get. Like, I mean, you could grapple today and you could submit me, and you could grapple tomorrow, and I can submit you, and we could do it. You could go day about for 6 months like that. So it just depends on how you feel on the day and how I feel on the day. Like, it could be my day to be on fire, and it could be your day to have a bad day. That's just sometimes what happens, like, too. But no, the gym's busy, thank God.
Yeah,
ticking along. Hard to get some of the boys back in, like, but we're getting them there slowly but surely.
And what about new guys? Because obviously we've seen a big influx. Anybody I've spoke to, obviously a lot of new people coming in as well. So a big influx of new students and so on.
Now, to be honest, we have not had that many new students. We've had a lot of students come back after sabbaticals. Even before COVID or coronavirus or whatever you want to call it. And, they might have been sort of faded away and come and went. And some of them have come back. Some of them have still disappeared. And I don't know, it's I think it's maybe a wee bit of laziness, and you get out of the habit of going, and, you're not turning up to class. And then, to be honest, there's a lot of them. I don't know about your gyms too, but I know there's a lot of in our gym. Like, you have the boys that are training really hard and really consistency, and then you have the boys maybe would have been near the top of the groups, and now they're coming back and they're realizing, Jesus, I'm not at the top of that group anymore, and they're struggling with that. Like, and it's hard, but you just have to sort of, as I always say, like, swallow your pride and get on with it and get the training going and keep at it. Like,
there's a lack of motivation as well. I mean, obviously nearly 2 years out, and I know for me, obviously I struggle with motivation because obviously what I did was I was fortunate enough, I was in a job, I was able to work from home, so you were in the house, you were working in a house, obviously sleeping, eating, doing whatever you're doing in the house, and then eventually we were allowed to go out, which obviously the
when
motivation.
You got an excuse to go, you went, 100%. 100%. Like, it's I don't know. To be honest, I've never really been too bad at the motivation to train. Like, I love my training. Like, and I love training. I love coaching. And I love trying to bring the best out of everybody. Sometimes it can be hard. Like, listen, between MMA and jiu-jitsu, as you know, it's not always straightforward. Like, you can have a real slumps. You can have maybe weeks and days, maybe months of things just not going your way. But it's a matter of, I think, if as long as you're consistent, you always seem to pull through. Like, it's the consistency. You always have the fellows in the gym, and someone come in and they're just picking things up super fast and they're brilliant, but they don't have the consistency. And then you have the fellow who just turns up week in, week out, day in, day out, keeps going and going. And they're normally the people that sort of rise to the top and sort of keep sort of, I don't know, just seem to do better than the real flash in the pans, like.
Yeah. That's like obviously motivation, but now we're officially well. When I say officially over, we seem to be restrictions. Yeah. Listen, but it seems to be off the news and everything now as well. So it disappeared all of a sudden. But yeah, listen, we're done. Well, now 2022 is going to be our year. I'd say the last 2 years we've been robbed of competing, and not just competing. I mean, the big thing that I used to enjoy whenever I went anywhere, whether I was in the States or like in Europe or wherever I went, was the networking. Like meeting people and talking to new people and meeting, like having people say, well, look, anytime you're in Glasgow, come train with us, and vice versa if I'm ever in wherever. And that was the thing I enjoyed, was obviously meeting all these different people.
That's it. That's the joys that you just do. That I find, like, is that, no matter where you go, you could be in Spain, you could be in Portugal, you could be wherever, and and if you happen to be wearing a top or a jiu-jitsu t-shirt, and somebody sees it, go, oh, you do jiu-jitsu? No, we have a club up here, or we're here, we're there, like, and like it's happened to me, in holidays. It's happened, like you might have been out and going for a meal or something with a t-shirt on you, and the waiter or the waitress, or you just say, "What our club's such and such." If you're here for long, call in, get a couple of rounds in, like, and that's the way it is. And that's, to me, the way it should be. Like, like 99% of jiu-jitsu people are great people. Like, there's very few that, and like, it's all about learning. Like, and like, you could teach me, and I could teach you, and it's all about learning from each other, like that way.
Yeah, definitely. And then what about Grapple Kings then? So Grapple Kings 7. So how did you find out, Gareth, that you were going to be on the show?
Adrian, I had a girl fighting in the Irish National Championships in Dublin, and I would know Adrian's coach, Kieran O'Donnell, know Kieran very well. And I know Adrian well too, but I would know Kieran much better. And Kieran had a few fellas fighting on the show as well, and Adrian was refereeing it or judging it. And he called me over and he says to me, "Hey," he says, "we're going to do a Northern Ireland show, Northern Ireland against Southern Ireland." He says, "Would you be interested?" And I says, "Aye." And there was a couple of names banted about, and different people sort of said about this person and that person. And Adrian says, "Would you be interested?" And I says, "Definitely interested." And then he messaged me and says, "Us and Andy and Chapman and John Fleming, who I both know as well, are sort of looking after it." And we've been all sort of working each other, sort of getting names and putting names into hats and coming up with people for fights and trying to match, because like the pool in Southern Ireland, there's some fantastic grapplers. Northern Ireland pool wouldn't be as big. So we're just sort of like, it was not that we're struggling to get names, like, but we were there was just less in the pot to pick from. So and then Adrian, like I say, they messaged me and put forward Kieran O'Donnell's name, and I says, "Yeah, no problem. I'll try Kieran again. I'd be well enough known as, and I wouldn't pick on anybody. It doesn't bother me. Like, if give me a name and I'll take it. Now that's grand, on ahead. It's not something. I think, like you say, when you get to our stage of life, you sort of go, hey, an opportunity to fight, I'll take that. It doesn't matter. Just give it to me. Like, if you're healthy and you're fit, give it a rattle, because like you say, next year, the year after, 2 years, 3 years, 4 years, you don't know if you're going to be able. So I'm going to pick every opportunity you can get. Like, and like I say, Grapple Kings is a fantastic show. I've done a couple of super fights. I've never done Grapple Kings. I've done a couple of shows in Dublin. Sub 80 over 80 it was called. That was in the Civic Theatre in Dublin. Same sort of idea. Platform, stage, down through the crowd, and walking out. And then I've done Andy Chapman's one, the Battle of the Bridge, and then I've done the Chaos Grappling show. I have a couple other fights lined up for things, and people just either pulled out or changed, but like, No, listen, I'm really looking forward to it. It's a bit of a jaunt for us up here from the northwest the whole way down to Port Leash, but it's about 3:40, just under 4 hours drive. But
Yeah.
we have there's a crowd going down to watch it too, which is good. Like there's about 9 or 10 going down. Last week I got two of the boys matched up on it, so they're looking forward to that too. Like two of me blue belts, like.
Yeah. And that's the thing, obviously, going down there, because obviously you've got other SBG guys on the card as well, not just obviously from your gym, but obviously SBG Tullamore and so on.
That's it.
So you'll be in company and family as
well.
Oh,
listen, hey, there's in the Northern Ireland team, like there's Team Rhino, there's SBG fighters, there's Next Generation fighters, there's a couple of other clubs involved on too. Like, so it's all good. Like, we're all there to help each other. And like it's all. It's just a team on team event, and because the way it's working, like we have England take on Wales in July, and then the final's going to be in November, December time in Port Alicia again. Like, so that's something more to look forward to. Like, it'd be great if we could qualify through. Like, and if not, I think it's a good platform to showcase what we can do. You might get on a Grapple Fest card, or you might get on maybe a Polaris card, or some of the boys might get on, like a SGA card, things like that. So you can say it's something like myself now. I'll take matches anywhere and be happy to travel to go and compete and things like that and get my name out there. Like you say, we might be a bit older, but there's still plenty of years left.
Oh yeah, listen, there's life in the old dogs yet. So as they say,
that's it. And like I say, it's as long as I think as long as you keep going and keep grappling and be sensible with it, there's you can put on good performances. Well, and it's not really an age thing. Like like I say, excuse me. I would personally, it wouldn't matter if there was someone in their 20s. If Adrian had to phone me and says, "Hey Gareth, we have Kieran, can't do it but we have this fella and he's 22, 23, 24, I'd say that's grand, give me him, that'll be grand." Like, it doesn't bother me, like, because most of the boys in my gym are all younger anyway, so I'm used to rolling with them boys, so it's no big deal. Like.
Yeah, I remember doing it. I went to the Euros a few years ago, and I remember looking at the bracket and thinking, right, okay, we've got this guy, and we had this guy who was the #1 ranked IBJJF fighter in the world at that level, weight division, and so on. And I remember saying, my coach Marcus Nardini saying, right, okay, this person, that person, and I was like, well, I want this guy first. I want this #1 in the world first, because obviously we get him out the way, then hopefully it'll be an easier run after that. And then sure enough, got there. The very first guy I got was this ranked #1 in the world. And he kicked my ass. He kicked my ass. But do you know what? I was like, I was still standing at the side of the mat, looking over at him, and we were in the bullpen, and I'm looking over at him. I'm like, yeah, let's do this, me and you. And the guy didn't even look in my direction. Right? He just was focused. And then we always laugh and say that whenever you see a Brazilian, a Portuguese on their knees before the match praying to Jesus, then you know you're in trouble. And sure enough, this is what this guy was doing. But it was an experience. As I said, best guy in the world. Done me. So
hey, listen, and like that's always my attitude there too. Right, you go in, you get beat. I've fought a couple of black belts and I've won some and I've lost some, but like my attitude always is to what have you lost, or for what you don't benefit or lose from losing the match, it's totally outweighed by what you will benefit if you won that match, and that's my attitude. Like I'd rather go on and put on a hell of a performance and really go for it and put on a show and things like that. Like, it's like I mind doing a couple of super fights before. I mean, had a real cracking super fight one time against a big fella. He was it's a Russian fella. He was down in Dublin, and there was only two weight categories. You were under 80 kilos or over 80 kilos, and I jumped up to over 80 kilos. I weighed in 84, and this fella, like, he was in his mid-20s, and he was 6'7", 104 kilos. And I was going, dear Jesus, what am I going to do with him? Like, and hey, the match was a really good match, and it was back and forth. And he went for an armbar, and he missed it, and I passed his side, and he went to turtle up, and I took his back and choked him. Like, but you know yourself, for the super fights, it was all pure silence, and then all of a sudden it's just erupted. Like, and it was a great feeling. Like, but it was 8 minutes of just torture. And by the end of it, you're sort of scraping me up. I mean, walking off the mat, and one of the fellas there, he looked at me and went, "That was some match." And I said, "Get me a chair. I'm going to die here." If you ask me to do it again, I'm done. I'm never doing it again. Like, but like I say, it was well worth the benefit. Like, you know, and I say it's good. Like, and that's my plan is to go down to Port Elise now, and excuse me, and put on a bit of a show. Hopefully, give it a rap and see how we get on. Like,
definitely. Then obviously Grapple Kings 7, then that'll be your main focus. So what's your plans? You got anything planned for the future for 2022? Or again, I know you mentioned obviously like you'll pretty much do Grapple Fest, you'll do your SGIs, or anybody that wants you, you're there.
Anybody wants me. There's not, and like I say, around 80, 90 kilo matches, like I'll take matches, no problem at all. Like I say, I know Andy is running his Chaos Grappling again in November, so I know I'm not guaranteed on it, but if I'm guaranteed on it, if I want it, like if we can get me a match, like I've got it, like, and like Andy knows the type of me, he says, he'll get a lock in the names, he'll throw a name at me, and I'll say, that's grand, whatever. As long as somebody says yes to me, I'll say yes to them. Like, I'd say if we can get the IBJJF Europeans through no gi back this year, I'd like to get better rattle. I've done the gi before, but I'm not gi's grand, but I prefer no gi. I'm more a no gi grappler. I'll do my gi classes and I'll do my gi competitions, but and then there's the IBJJF Dublin Open. That's on in April. Empire Grappling, it's on in April, so I'm planning on trying to do them too as well. So I have at least 3 to do in April. I'm going to do, and then there's Grapple Industries. There's a couple of them coming up too. I think Dublin's got July and October, I think it is, or November, and then they have Belfast in June as well. So I've all them to do. But no, I'm looking forward to them. Like I say, it's good to get done and push yourself and test yourself.
You've got the Irish Nationals as well, the UK BJJ, which I believe is
I think that
May.
too.
So I don't know what it is, whether it's gi or no gi. I think it should be both. I know it's over 2 days. Yeah,
it's both. It's gi one day and no gi the next day. I've seen that as well. That's right. That's in I want to say May.
May. I think it's May 21st, maybe. I could be wrong, but it's around about that time. Yeah. So and I think that's the
first pretty
time.
Good show.
Yeah. I mean, it was good. We had it in Scotland a few years ago. It was and it was Adam Warzinski won it. And massive event, really big event. They put some money up for grabs and stuff like that as well. And then I said Adam Warzinski came and took the money. I remember giving him I gave him a lift to the hotel. I said, "Sure, can you give Adam Warzinski a lift to the hotel?" And I'm like, "Oh, brilliant. I'm going to be in the car with Warzinski for like 10 minutes. He's going to give me some jiu-jitsu knowledge." And for 10 minutes, he said absolutely nothing. He said nothing, and he got out of the car and he's like, "Thank you very much, mate." And that was it. That was my jiu-jitsu knowledge from one of the best guys in the world. So
it's mad. But I think, I don't know, sometimes they're really high level ones. They're either one extreme to the other. They're really talkative and really want to pass on things, or they just. I think they don't want to. I think they almost sort of think, I'll not say nothing because they'll think I'm dictating or overpowering things or things like that. But no, that's not. There's some really good shows coming up. There's another show actually down on Port Elise as well. It's called Gamma. That's a really good show. It's run by Philip Mulpeters, Honey Badger. Used to, but no Philip. And like I say, they would do like a championship thing where they have all blue belts, all weight categories, all blue belts, all white belts, and then maybe all purples, browns, blacks, and things like that. No, that's another good show. So Paul Bank, they're running it again now shortly, so probably got to jump on that as well. Maybe I was asked to fight, do a wee super fight in that before, but I was away the weekend already. Committed to competing on something else. But so I'm hoping to get asked to do that. But it's like Adrian's show, this Grapple Kings, like that's a great show. It's a fantastic show. I've watched it. I've never been on it now before. It's my first time on it, but I've watched it several times and spoke to Adrian about it. Like, I mean, the name was bantered about before, but to be honest, so I was pleased when they approached me and asked me what to do it this time. Like,
Definitely displaying. Yeah, it's definitely displays the best, because obviously in Scotland we've got SGI, it displays the best in Scotland. Grapple Fest displays the best in kind of Northern England or throughout England, and then Grapple Kings doing exactly the same thing for Northern Ireland and Southern Ireland, displaying the best that obviously Ireland's got to offer. So
100%, and like I say, the boys like Adrian and Kieran and all the boys behind the scene, like some of them, they seem to really run a really good show, like, and it's well organised, and everybody you speak to, like I say, Adrian's a lovely fella, nice fella to speak to, really approachable. Nothing doesn't do no brawler to him. And like I say, so I'm looking forward to a couple of matches on. There's some really good matches on them. I think about 5th or 6th, maybe 7th on the main card, like. So there's a couple of good matches before me, and there's a couple of really good matches after me then too. Like, I think they're trying to get like the Kieran Darvin all match and get a baller matching Kieran, because Kieran's are serious high level. Like, and I know we're looking for somebody from Northern Ireland to fight him, like, but it's to get somebody to match up against Kieran's abilities it's just hard. Like, but listen, we'll give it a go. We'll give it a rattle, and we'll see how we get on. Like,
definitely. Sorry, and I was going to say as well, then, final thing for you then, Gareth. So you've been in the game, as you mentioned, a long time. Obviously, you were in the game a long time before you were starting to get graded. So obviously, I mean, you'll have trained with a lot of people over the years, but anybody you want to shout out to? So any kind of friends, family members, teammates, anything like that?
That's just all. Listen, to all the teammates, all the team in Strabane, like, and like I say, without them, like, the club doesn't exist, and without them, I can't do what I want to do and put on a show, and vice versa. And without me, they can't do it. Like, so we all bounce off each other, and like I say, they're always willing to turn up and put in the hard extra rounds with you, and they're willing to like the boys in this morning. Kieran Barr, one of the sort of main training partners, he was in this morning. Me and him going at it for a while, like, and then like so Brian Farr, who Brian's on the card now. Couple of good rolls and good positional drills last night, and like and then like everybody in the team, like everybody's sort of there to help them. Like, say, we're all there willing to help them. If one's fighting, we're all sort of pushing that person on and pushing them into their comfort zone and making them work that wee bit harder, which is needed, because like I think until you when you do competitions, you don't realize how tired you get, and you sort of can survive in the gym. But when you do the adrenaline dump in the competition, it's slightly different. Like, so you only have at least have the lung capacity to keep going. But no, and then like even all the boys down in SBG Ireland headquarters, like I'll sort of try and go down maybe once a month, maybe a wee bit more often. I was doing more often until COVID hit, and that ended that. So we're back at that now, getting up and down the road. Like I said, I go down and do maybe 2 or 3 sessions a day down there, and once or twice a month, and that's good. Like I say, we have boys like Lee Hammett and Richie Small and Pedro Gavallo and all these boys, like high level MMA fighters and high level grapplers, like, and Gustavo, and it's good. It's nice to go down and sometimes get humbled. Like, if you're sort of doing really well up around here, and then next thing you go down there and somebody gets out, and you go, oh, Jesus, I forgot what this is like.
Definitely. And then obviously anybody else, family, any family you want to shout out to?
I just want to shout out to all my family, like, my 2 kids and Karen, the wife, and things like that. Like I say, and all just so that it's good to be able to get to train as much as I do and then look after the club. Like, so it's all part of it. Like, and like I say, it's a team effort. Even though it's an individual sport, it is a team effort. Like I say, you're on the mat on your own, but you have to have your team behind you. Like I say, and a lot of good team members and a lot of good people turn up. Like, you have the boys and the girls are there week in, week out, and one of our main, like I say, some of our main fighters, like Dennis Perry, who's fighting at the minute, and Bahrain, and then I've like Elisa Houston, who's going to be competing now in the Europeans. One of my main traveling partners, we seem to. Whenever I'm competing, she seems to be competing, or if she's not competing, I'm doing her corner or something like that. Like, so that's just the way it works. Like, and you just sort of have to do the long road and put in the effort. Like, but no, it's thanks to them all for the opportunity to do it. Like, and anybody else have left out, they'll be all right.
Wasn't anybody you've not shouted out to? You guys definitely know who you are. So
100%.
Yes. So there we go, guys. We're going to have Garath Vaughan, SBG Strabane against Kieran O'Donnell. So Saturday, 2nd of April, is going to be in Port Leash. Port Leash.
You got it right.
And so it's Team Northern Ireland versus Team Southern Ireland. So absolutely fantastic matchups. As I said, headlined by that Owen Livesey, Santiri Ilias super fight at the end. So, so Gareth, listen, absolute pleasure to talk to you, buddy.
Too, sir. Thank you very much.
Listen, I'm flying over on the 2nd. Yeah, I'm flying over, so I'll be there.
No, so we're going to talk to you there, and then maybe after the competition, we can do an Norway interview and see how things go and get our feedback, what we thought of it. No,
definitely. And obviously, you mentioned you got a couple other guys on the card as well. So
yeah.
I'll be in touch with them. All right. So we'll definitely get a chat with them as well, buddy. All right.
Perfect, sir. Listen, talk to you later on.
Thank you again. All right. Take it easy, buddy.
Take it easy. Bye bye.